Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to the Cardinal Sports Network's presentation of Trinity Valley Community College basketball here from Cardinal Gym on the campus in Athens, Texas. We have a Region 14 conference doubleheader for you tonight as the Lady Cardinals and Cardinals play host to the Paris Junior College. It's a big game on both fronts tonight because if the women win tonight, they will wrap up their 10th straight conference championship, Jason, and their 19th in the last 20 years. I'm Benny Rogers, the Assistant Public Information Officer at Trinity Valley Community College, and I'm joined always by Jason Larson, the Sports Editor for the Athens Daily Review. Jason, Lady Cardinals coming off a 69-65 loss to Tyler Saturday on the road to fall to 26-2 of the season, but Kilgore also lost as they still got a two-game lead with 2 games to go.
Yeah, and when you think about it, of course, those that followed Lady Cardinal basketball, the sky is falling to 2 losses, in so many games. But in reality, they're still in real good shape. They take care of business tonight. Like you mentioned, they clinched that 10th straight conference championship. And as we've talked about before, that's just an incredible run. 19 out of 20 conference championships is just something that, is probably unmatched in most sports you can try to find, and that includes, college sports, pro sports. You just don't see a run like that.
And here's the thing about it, for those not familiar with Trinity Valley basketball, maybe, you look at the end of the gym with the national championship banners hanging on the wall. There are 5 of them, and conference championships are almost like an afterthought here. And that's really unfortunate for the players that they don't get to celebrate like most schools do, but that's just the way of life here at Trinity Valley.
Yeah, and, as they've lost these couple of games, it's not really a matter of, oh gosh, we're not going to make the conference tournament, or, it's really all measured in terms of, are we going to Kansas and are we going to win a national championship? So, in a way it's hard on the team and on the girls when they're judged that way, but, in a good way, actually, they kind of brought that on themselves with that record of success and excellence. So it's a good thing to have. It's a hard standard to live up to sometimes, but I'm sure that they would rather have that than the alternative.
Oh, no question about that. Of course, along with the conference championship goes the top seed in the Region 14 conference tournament, which begins next Thursday over in Tyler. Women's play doesn't start until Friday. And if the Lady Cardinals can wrap up the conference championship and get the top seed, they'll play at 1 o'clock on Friday against the number 8 seed, which at this point looks to be Jacksonville or San Jacinto. Those 2 teams, I believe, are playing tonight, and that'll be a good test, or maybe a Saturday, but that'll be a big test for the 8th playoff spot. As we mentioned, the Lady Cardinals are 26-2 on the season. They're 14-2 in the conference. They stayed ranked number 3 in the nation, I should say, despite having lost to Tyler. Paris is 16-11 on the season. Their conference record is 8-7. These 2 teams played back in early January up at Paris, and the Lady Cardinals eked out a 60-54 win. But in that game, Jason, Shakayla Caples, the conference's leading scorer, and the Lady Cardinals' top scorer, obviously, with a 21.9 average, didn't play because of illness the night before.
Yeah, and she makes so much of a difference. I think the only thing you can say about her is maybe you'd like to see her a little more consistently through a game, but she has a tendency to take over stretches of a game where a 3-point lead or a 4-point lead becomes 12 before you know it. When she wants to, it seems like she can score at will. So I think, if anything, the only thing you want to see out of Caples at this point is just maybe a little more consistent scoring. But she is an incredible scorer, and certainly when her complete body of work is done here at Trinity Valley, we hope that's 2 seasons. She's just a freshman. Will probably be remembered as one of the better scorers in school history.
Well, I think so. And I know I mentioned on one of our webcasts a few weeks ago that I really think before she leaves here, she could have the single-game scoring record for the school, which is 50 by Portia Hill back in 1988. But Shakayla is such a streak shooter, and when she gets that soft jumper, one-handed jumper she's got going, I think she could go for 50 one night very easily. We've seen her have 25, 26, and missed quite a few shots during that.
You bet. When you look at the leading scorers in the country, they're right up there around 26 points, 24 points. She's obviously the kind of player that can definitely hit that mark. It's just going to take a little more consistent scoring throughout the game, but as we've been saying, very capable. She's an incredible, creative basketball player, and, creative is not a term necessarily that you use with basketball players, but she does such a good job of creating her own shots, and even her shot is so unique, and it is unorthodox, but those shots go in a lot. So
they really do.
She's a special player.
We'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight on the Cardinal Sports Network. This will be our final webcast doubleheader of the season. This is the final home game of the season for the Lady Cardinals and Cardinals. So it'll be a special night as the sophomores are playing their final games here at home. We're glad to bring it to you. And again, always, if you want to drop us a line, and many of you have this season, we really appreciate it. The address is csn@tvcc.edu. Let us hear from you. We've gotten just quite a few emails this year, and we really do appreciate it with your feedback. And if nothing else, just let us know where you're listening from, because it really helps us know, and we know that the Cardinals and Lady Cardinals have players from all across the nation and even other countries, as will Paris tonight. I know we'll have a big Paris audience tonight because they're getting a chance to see their kiddos play.
Yeah. That's what's so fun about Trinity Valley basketball too. Is it's not just a national thing; it's almost always an international thing. And we sure are grateful for those folks to tune in and check them out. That's only good for the girls, and it's just good for the program and good for those families too.
Let's take a look at the conference standings while we have a moment here. We're about 9 minutes away from the pregame activities beginning. And you'll see that the Lady Cardinals, of course, as we mentioned, have a 2-game lead because Kilgore lost last Saturday at the same time the Lady Cardinals were losing. And a big game tonight, and we can go ahead and look at the schedule for tonight. But you've got Tyler and Kilgore playing tonight over in Tyler, and I think that's a huge game because the winner of that will probably be the number 2 seed behind the Lady Cardinals.
Yeah, and, either one of those games, if you're a Lady Cardinal fan, you got to kind of think, wow, that's going to be a tough one because, of course, now you're thinking of tournament time, and, of course, we obviously want to see them wrap up their 10th conference championship in a row, but when you think ahead to that tournament, those are two teams they very well could meet.
Lady Cardinals are going through their final warm-ups here before we get started. We're about 8 minutes away from pregame ceremonies beginning. And like I said, this is the last home game of the season. The Lady Cardinals are attempting to win number 27 in the books and go to 27-2. And they've got a game Saturday. They wrap up the regular season, which at this point, Jason, based on the past results, it doesn't look like it'll be much of a game because it's at Panola. And as we saw earlier, the Lady Cardinals, during the stretch when they were playing their best basketball of the season, they beat Panola here 115-56.
Yeah, it was an impressive win during an impressive stretch. So, they'll be glad to get a win, but it'd be nice if they get a nice big win like they did over at Panola last time, just to go into the tournament with a little more confidence and obviously they've got a lot probably as it is, but couldn't always hurt to be a little bit better as you enter that regional tournament.
In a lot of ways, Jason, I think tonight's game is bigger than the Panola game because you figure you're going to go over there and be okay. Tracy Scalado's team this year is just down. That's all it is. But I think tonight's the game that a lot of folks will judge just where this Lady Cardinal team is going into the regional tournament because Paris is a quality opponent.
Yeah, and you want to see how they bounce back after that loss to Tyler, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, a loss is a loss, but you hate to lose to a rival like that, like Tyler, and, so they've got a couple of things, maybe a couple of middle barriers that they need to kind of get over, and obviously a loss is one who lost to a rival, and, both their losses in conference come on the road, so you would like to see them take care of business here and hopefully put a little mini winning streak together before they get to that tournament.
Well, as we look at the Lady Cardinals by the numbers, this is the 36th season of Lady Cardinal basketball. Jason, this record is just phenomenal. 909 wins and 223 losses in 36 years.
Yeah, that's, again, marks that you could probably look at any other program, sports program in the country. I would just be really curious to see how other ones match up. That's an incredible run.
It really is. And some other numbers I uncovered this week, I was thinking about Kenya Landers, the co-head coach of the Lady Cardinals, where she played back here for 2 seasons back in the late 90s, and it started 2000. But as a player, Kenya's teams were, this just blew me away anyway. They were 36-0 one season and 24-6 her sophomore season. But then you throw in the years when she was an assistant coach here in 2004 and 5, and this year's 26-2 record. And Kenya Landers at Trinity Valley is 114-11.
Yeah,
those are just crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's silly, but we've gotten used to those silly numbers, and that's why of course you mentioned 24-6, and gosh, I was thinking, oh my gosh, 6 losses. But it's just so the bar is so high here, and again, like I said, that's. That could be a tough thing for a player, but that's why players want to come here because, when players come here, they want to win and they want to be able to move on to a top-tier program in the country, and you can do both of those things here. So, that's Trinity Valley basketball. That's just the way it is. And, what's exciting is hopefully the men are starting to build a streak like that. Obviously, the men's program goes back a little further, but with the season they're having, it would be incredible and awesome if they also could build that kind of reputation. And, we've seen some really good basketball this season, and it may just be a sign of things to come.
Think about this, Jason. This year, the NJCAA rankings, and the Lady Cardinals are 3rd, and the Cardinals, of course, at this point are 11. Trinity Valley is the only Region 14 conference school to have both the men's and women's team ranked in the rankings the entire year.
Yeah, and that's been it's been fun. That's been the kind of season it has been, and of course we'll talk more about the men obviously during their broadcast, but they have won some really big games. It's just been an incredible season, and they've taken care of business, when they could have let down. So hats off to them. They're doing a great job, and we'd like nothing more than to be able to go to Kansas and have to spend our time driving between Salina and Hutch to cover both of them.
Did that in 1999. That was just one of the most memorable experiences I had in my time when I was at the Athens Review, of going back and forth each day to the two different cities and covering both games. As our cameras pan the audience tonight, folks, you'll see a lot of red in the stands. And Jason, they took your advice, I guess. Last week you suggested we needed a red out, and boom, it's been declared red out now.
And I show up in a blue and white shirt.
Go figure. But if you needed a red shirt, we could have gotten you one.
Well, yeah.
Oh. Was your week through the laundry, huh?
Yeah, I think my red shirt's in the laundry.
That sounds good. We are about 4.5 minutes away from pregame ceremonies beginning, and we will have the men's game after this one. The Cardinals, of course, are number 11 in the nation, as we mentioned, taking on Paris. And that will be a rematch of the game also played in December, which the Cardinals, I think, Pat Smith would tell you this, was their poorest performance of the season. They only scored 47 points.
Yeah, he's still, I've talked to him, 2-3 times between the last couple of weeks, and he'll mention that game every now and then and say, well, it's like the Paris game where we hardly scored any points, So obviously they want a chance, kind of like the Navarro game, went to their place and lost, and now they get a chance to probably a lot better team than they were then to get a little revenge, but more importantly, just to continue to build on that lead. So,
well, and the Cardinals this year, Jason, are 15-1 at home, and that's a phenomenal record.
Yeah. So they played well here. I mean, it's when you take down St. Jack and Navarro here, you're doing pretty good.
You really are. Paris and Lady Dragons have made their way back out onto the floor after going in for a final pregame talk from Sean LaBeouf, their third-year head coach. His record at Paris is 44-43, but this is by far his most competitive team in his third year at Paris. Of course, the Lady Cardinals are coached by Kenya Landers, we mentioned earlier, in her first year, and Michael Landers in his 10th season here. And in Michael's 10 seasons here, he's 291-38, and that's nothing to laugh at. And his overall career record is 388-60. So something we'll mention, Jason, now going into the men's game. We'll talk more about it once the game arrives. But Pat Smith, in his 5th year now at Trinity Valley, is going for his 100th win at the college tonight. So be a nice night to celebrate, and the ones and zeros line up. Lady Cardinals going for their 10th straight conference championship. Pat Smith going for his 100th win at Trinity Valley.
I think you should give him a post-game noogie if they pull it off.
Pat gave me a hard time at post-game the other night. He said I had him thinking about Tyler when he just won a big ball game, and he wanted some time so he could think about it and enjoy that win. So Pat's going to join us, by the way, tonight. He said that at the end of this game, he's going to join us at halftime of the women's game. And then at halftime of the men's game, we're going to have Kenya Landers join us. So looking forward to visiting with both coaches at halftime tonight. And we're coming up on the 2-minute mark in warm-up, so we'll be underway shortly here at Cardinal Gym. We'll have, of course, the national anthems played by the Cardinal Regiment, and then the introduction of the starting lineups. So looking for another great night of Region 14 Conference basketball. Jason, I think you said it last week. It's hard to believe that the schedule's over. I mean, this is the final home game of the season.
Yeah, we're already here, and it's just amazing. And now it gets you excited. My mind is set on that conference tournament now. And, I think that's probably the case with the players, too, even though coaches want them to focus on right now. It's all about that tournament now. And, of course, once you get your ticket punched, then you're thinking ahead to that. So they need to take care of this game here, but it's just hard to believe that we're already to this point.
I don't want to overstate it or overplay it, but I just believe tonight's game is huge. I think what happens here tonight is more important, well, I know it is, than happens in Panola and Carthage on Saturday, because of the quality of opponents you're playing tonight and the fact that everybody in the conference is now looking to see how the Lady Cardinals bounce back from the Tyler loss. If they bounce back in a convincing win, they may say, uh-oh. But if they struggle and eke out a win, folks might say they're vulnerable.
Yeah, and I think they ought to treat this game like a conference game, in that respect. Because I think you're absolutely right. I think people are looking at Trinity Valley. And again, you look at a second loss, and it's like, wow, what's going on at Trinity Valley? But people are looking at them that way and seeing if there's any kind of crack in the arm or anything they might be able to take advantage of when they hit that tournament.
Of course, we say that, and you look at it, Jason, there are 2 losses. One was 66-65 on a 3-pointer at the buzzer, and the other was 69-65 at Tyler after being down 31-14 in the first half.
Yeah.
So, the ship's not sinking. I don't mean to imply that. I'm just thinking for the makeup of the Lady Cardinals mentally, as well as the rest of the league, tonight's result could be big.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Got a slow arriving crowd tonight, but we're expecting, especially the home side, to fill in pretty good because our Lady folks that wear a red shirt in free at the red out night. So, good reason to get into the game for free, and always a good reason. You don't need a reason to come out to the Cardinal Gym for Cardinal and Lady Cardinal basketball because it's always a great entertainment for about 4 hours, and certainly the success of the programs this year have made it extremely worthwhile. So we'll wait for the pregame ceremonies to begin. Here we'll have the playing of the national anthem by the Cardinal Regiment. Introduction of the starting lineups for both teams will follow. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Cardinal Sports Network.
Cardinals. At this time, would you please stand for the singing of the national anthem by sophomore Sarah Joblin from Trinity Valley.
Okay. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Very nice job of the national anthem by a sophomore student out of Athens High School, Sarah Joblin. Much better job than Christina Aguilera did at the Super Bowl this year.
Ouch. Let's hope she's not listening.
The starting lineup is
Now we'll have the starting lineups for both teams.
number 11, Bianca Hanna from Calabasas.
Bianca Hanna is
Florida.
averaging 9.4 points a game.
Number 14, Destiny Smith.
Destiny
from
Smith
Mount
is averaging
Pleasant,
10.5
Texas.
points a game and
Number
8.5 rebounds and
20,
8.4
Kiara
assists a
Kobe
game, which leads the
from Baton
conference.
Rouge, Louisiana. Number 22, La Paris Newsome from Chicago, Illinois.
Newsom is averaging 2.9 assists
And
a game.
number 40, Kativia Jones from St. Paul, Minnesota. The Dragons are coached by head coach Sean LaBeouf. And now for our own Trinity Valley Lady Cardinals. Number 2, Sabrina McKinney.
Sabrina McKinney's hitting 81% of her free throws and averaging 4.1 assists, and her free throw
Number
percentage is first
12,
in the conference.
Jasmine Scott, 6-foot sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Of course, Jasmine
Number
Scott, as we mentioned many
21,
times, played volleyball for the
Kiwana
Lady Cardinals this year.
Gardner, 5'8"
Kiwana Gardner really coming on late for the,
Angeles,
as of late for the Lady
California.
Cardinals, Jason. We really expect her to be a key as they try to make a run to the national tournament.
Sure, she's been a threat from
Number
inside and
24,
outside.
Alice Robinson is one of the best rebounders in the conference. That's a knack for getting them. And of course, Kayla Caples is averaging 21.5 points,
Number
which is first in the
32,
conference,
Shakayla
hitting 80% of her free throws, has hit 45 three-pointers, and is averaging 2.6 steals a game.
The Lady Cardinals are coached by
So the
head coaches
teams
Michael
have been introduced. The stage
Landers.
is all set. It's time for the final home game of the season for the Lady Cardinals, trying to protect their number 3 ranking and to capture a 10th straight conference championship and their 19th conference championship in the last 20 years. Now, I'll say that over and over, and I'm sure, folks, I'm not making it up and I'm not dreaming it, that 19 to 20 if they wrap up the conference championship tonight. That's just incredible. Cardinal Regiment is on hand tonight, as are the Cardettes. And see a lot of Reds showing up, Jason. A lot of folks are taking advantage of the Red out tonight and helping to pack the gym hopefully a little bit later. Wouldn't expect there to be a very big Parish crowd because of the length of the trip on a Wednesday night, but we do know that we've got a lot of folks that are Paris fans that are joining us on the webcast tonight. We made sure that both head coaches knew that we were going to be on, so they could let their players know that a lot of them are from out of the state. Their folks and friends don't get a chance to see them play very often, and we appreciate having those folks join us tonight as well. Kind of a new starting lineup for the Lady Cardinals tonight. If I guess when you lose a game, you got to try to shake things up. We're going to have Jasmine Scott jumping for the Lady Cardinals, number 12. Or maybe her and Alice Robinson are going to arm wrestle to see who got to do it. But I think Jasmine Scott's going to jump center, and we're about underway, folks. Tip is going to be controlled finally by the Lady Cardinals McKinney. She dishes it off to Gardner. Back out front to McKinney. See McKinney be a lot more aggressive lately in attacking the goal. Hits Michaela's on a cut to the goal, but she turns the ball over. That's the first turnover of the game, and the Lady Dragons will operate.
That's one of the things we don't want to see, Benny, is a lot of Trinity Valley turnovers. We have seen that lately. They've got to definitely limit their turnovers.
Yeah, they had 27 in the loss to Tyler Saturday, and that's very un-Lady Cardinal-like right there. Got to do a much better job protecting the ball. First shot up for Lady Dragons is no good, but it is rebounded, and the putback fails to fall. Destiny Smith with the putback attempt. Lady Cardinals on the attack. Caples pull up for the jumper. In and out, no good, but there she is, Alice Robinson, but she can't control the rebound, and it sails out of bounds, and the ball will belong to the Lady Dragons. Scoreless already, still, I should say, with 48 seconds into the game. Lady Cardinals have had 2 possessions, and now this is the second possession for the Lady Dragons. Pressure defense being applied by Gardner and Robinson in the backcourt. A long pass downfield. The tip goes directly to Kiera Obi, and she scores to put the Lady Dragons up first by a 2-0 count. Lady Cardinals really have got to tighten up their half-court offense. They struggle at times with this year. McKinney on the drive. The ball is stripped. There's another turnover that goes to the Lady Dragons.
That pressure defense is one of the things that you look at when you try to see the health of the Lady Cardinals. And I don't mean health as in injury-wise, but, you know, how they play a lot of times hinges on how well they play the press. And it wasn't a bad job on that one possession where they gave up the bucket there. Just kind of an unfortunate tip that didn't quite get there.
3-point attempt is going to be way short and going to sail out of bounds, and the ball will go over to the Lady Cardinals. Obi puts up the shot. And we have a whistle. I think that the officials are wanting the Lady Cardinal bench to back up just a bit, crowding the sideline just a little.
Well, that's a new one we haven't seen called by the officials this year.
Seen everything else called. Oh, the ball's going to belong to the Lady Dragons. I thought he went out of bounds off the 3-point attempt by Obi. Evidently, a Lady Cardinal got a piece of the basketball.
Well, they're going to have 5 seconds to get the ball off here. We'll see if they're cognizant of that fact when they get the ball inbound, if they get the ball inbound.
Lady Cardinals need to bear down in defense here, and that's going to go into the backcourt. It won't be a violation, but they're really going to have to hurry with the shot clock. Lady Cardinals want to make sure they don't foul here. Forced up 3-pointer, no good. Bianca Hanna, the Lady Cardinals on the attack. You see Caples with the basketball. Soft one-hand jumper from the baseline, no good. Rebound goes to Gardner. Down low to Scott. Scott being very aggressive, makes some moves, going to be fouled in the act of shooting. Foul's going to go against Destiny Smith. Oh, they're going to not a shooting foul. I thought she was in the act.
I did too.
So the ball will belong to the Lady Cardinals, trading 2-0. Need to get on the scoreboard. Like I said, didn't have a very good first half against Tyler. Gardner puts up the jumper, no good. Lady Cardinals are cold to start the game.
0 of 3.
And 2 turnovers throwing on top of that, too.
Yeah, not the kind of start you're wanting if you're Trinity Valley.
Lady Cardinals got down 31-14 in the first half to Tyler before surging back in the second half and making a game of it and pulling in 2 late in the game, but wound up losing by 4, 69-65. Spin move by Newsom. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be Lady Cardinals basketball.
Harris is going to have 5 seconds of the shot clock again, so
Yeah, the Lady Cardinals are defending, but boy, they're just not doing much offensively right now. Of course, we're early in the game, less than 3 minutes into the game. 2-0 Paris if you're just joining us. There's another turnover. That's 3 turnovers now by the Lady Cardinals. Thankfully, Paris has not capitalized on the bulk of them. Oh, that's just a great hustling play there by the Lady Dragons. They are really attacking. 14 drives to the baseline. It's going to get the bucket. It's going to be fouled, I believe, by Jasmine Scott. Smith's going to go to the free throw line for a chance to complete a 3-point play and put the Lady Dragons into a 5-0 lead. Shot is up and good. It is 5-0. We have Paris Price checking in for the Lady Dragons. Her first name is very appropriate. Paris from Paris. Lady Cardinals need to find a way to get on the scoreboard. There's another turnover. Just not sharp on the offensive end. This is going to result in a 2-0 layup and a 7-0 Lady Dragon lead. How big a hole do the Lady Cardinals want to dig themselves in this one? Need to get it going. Pass inside to Scott. Has to put it on the floor, back out to McKinney. She puts up a 3 that's no good. Rebound controlled by McKinney after a loose ball. Not very clean on that end. The Lady Cardinals are struggling on the offensive end to start the game.
They just don't look like they're in sync right now. That's disappointing.
Gardner with a 3. No good. Rebound out of bounds off of Scott. Ball's going to belong to the Lady Dragons. Get a chance to build on their 7-0 lead. Brittany Dukes is going to check into the game for Gardner. Of course, Dukes is one of 3 sophomores on the team last year. Brandy Dace also checks in, number 11. Dukes, Leisha Dunn, and Janae Barrett were on the Lady Cardinal team last year that finished 6th at the national tournament. Of course, Barrett got hurt 4 or 5 games into the season and received a medical red shirt, so she didn't actually play the entire season.
7-0 lead for Paris, and Trinity Valley has started the game 0-5 shooting. And right now, like we talked about the defense, they've really been able to generate nothing off of the defense, so that hurts as well.
They have a travel. Bianca Hanna worked her way free behind the press. Lady Cardinals left her alone, but she traveled in her attempt to shoot the basketball. And the Lady Cardinals still looking for their first points of the game at the 15:55 mark. Caples from the baseline, no good. Hits the side of the backboard. Deuce controls the rebound, back over to Caples. Caples gets the ball out to Brandy Days. Makes a move along the baseline, puts up the shot, no good. Alice Robinson battled for the rebound, didn't get it, and here are the Lady Dragons with possession. Quickly down the floor. 3-point attempt, no good. Well, they look at a 10-0 lead if that one falls. McKinney pulls up with a jumper. It finally falls at the 15-19 mark. The Lady Cardinals score their first points, 7-2 Paris. Sabrina McKinney with a pull-up jumper from inside the lane.
That breaks an 0-7 streak to start the game shooting for Trinity Valley.
And there's a turnover charge to the Lady Dragons, and the Lady Cardinals have got to make the most of those. You've already spotted a team. It's way early, so there's no sense of panicking, no reason to panic.
See Gardner and Scott subbing back in.
Caples going to catch a breather along with Alice Robbins, see what this lineup can do. The Lady Cardinals really need to get something going on the offensive end. McKinney didn't have numbers. Brandy Dace will be called for the travel. Another turnover. 5 turnovers now inside of 6 minutes. A lot of energy within the Lady Cardinals body language right now. They need something good to happen and get fired up, and they could do it on the defensive end. We've seen them do that before. Here comes the Trout. Ashley Watson directing the Lady Dragon offense. Move inside, no good. Destiny Smith and the Lady Cardinals control. They're on the run. settle back into the half-court offense. .15 seconds on the shot clock. And we're going to have a hand check out front charged to Paris Price. The Lady Cardinals will be getting Shakayla Caples back in the game pretty quickly. We've seen this year when she's gotten off to a slow start shooting after her first spell on the bench, moments on the bench, she usually comes back and catches fire, and I'm sure that's what Kenny and Michael Landers are hoping for tonight. They need something. There's a pass inside to Scott, puts up the shot. That's a great job there. McKinney spotted Scott flashing across the lane, and Scott finishing the play. 7-4, pressure defense. Paris beats it down the floor, but Brittany Dukes gets a hand on it, and he goes after McKinney. McKinney on the run, pulls up with a short jumper, no good. And there's a chance Lady Cardinals had a 3-2 break and didn't get anything out of it. Got a good shot, though.
Yeah, and you got to be glad that the defense kind of led to that shot attempt there. So they need more of that. They need more points off the defense.
There's a turnover steal by McKinney. And going to be a foul called. Didn't really want to have that foul call. It's going to be called on Brittany Gaines, the sophomore out of Mesquite, Texas. And we see Caples and Robinson back in. So let's just see if what we've seen from Caples this year when she's gotten off to a slow shoot start after she sits on the bench for a few minutes and checks out the game, she usually comes back pretty strong and hot. And, of course, that's what the Lady Cardinals are hoping for tonight. 13-20 left in the first half.
She's capable to start the game 0 for 3 from the field, but that's not going to last long.
And there she is, the first one. That usually gets her going, folks, and we'll see if that holds true. 7-6 Lady Cardinals. Paris got off to a 7-0 lead.
Now Trinity Valley's hit 3 of their last 4 shots, many after missing their first 7.
And defense is helping create that a little bit, too. 3-point attempt. No good. Rebound control. Over the back is going to be called Dominic Mosley. Looked like she kind of got it clean, Jason, but I'm sure there was some contact there.
I think her elbows were on Jasmine Scott's head, so that's kind of hard on.
You're saying it didn't look all that clean to you. Caples on the attack. She knows how to create. This time she's going to give it to Scott. Scott's going to put up a 3-pointer. In and out, no good. Gardner with the rebound. Gardner throws up a shot. She had no idea or intentions of making that shot, but she did a great job at doing that and drawing the foul on Mosley, and that should send Kiwana Gardner to the free throw line to shoot 2, where she's a 5'8 freshman out of Los Angeles, California, and a very key player for the Lady Cardinals.
She's dangerous, from all ends. She can obviously play around inside, but also dangerous from beyond the three-point arc. So
2 free throws here. She have a chance to tie it now. She misses her first free throw. She's hitting 70% of her free throws on the season. The Lady Cardinals are shooting 64% as a team. And the second will not fall, and Paris will maintain its 7-6 lead. Got to hit your free throws.
Yeah, that's one more of those recurring themes we've been talking about throughout these broadcasts. They're going to have to figure out a way to improve their mark at the free throw line, because what they're doing right now is not good enough.
Nice job there. It was either Gardner or Scott that got a piece of that one, I believe. Yeah. Maybe not, because they're saying now the ball belongs to the Lady Cardinals after it hit the backboard, or the glass, I should say. It's not really a backboard.
Well, I think Watson thought that, too. I think Watson thought they got a piece of it. But
Alicia Dunn is in the game for the first time for the Lady Cardinals. Number 1, a 6'4" sophomore post out of Toronto, Canada. They're going to try to let Caples create here, but she did a poor job she drove down into traffic, and ball was stolen. Whoa, you don't see that very often. But Dominic Mosley, a sophomore post out of Chicago, pulls up and hits about a 17-foot jumper, 9-6. Oh, they're going to call a charge there against Caples. I'm not sure about that. But the call does go in Paris's favor, so it's still 9-6. The Lady Dragons, 11:50, very low-scoring game. Certainly what we've been used to seeing the Lady Cardinals in previous years, and at home even this year. They've usually gotten off to faster starts than this. 3-point attempt, no good. Lady Cardinals get the rebound. Caples on the move, pulls up with the jumper, knocks it down, 9-8. Lady Cardinals press recently has just not been effective in the sense of turnovers. Now, they've made teams burn a lot of time on the shot clock, but they haven't got the turnovers to turn those into points. Mosley, power move blocked by Alicia Dunn. Alice Robinson does a great job of controlling the loose ball. Brittany Dukes now at the point for the Lady Cardinals. Get the ball down low to Dunn. Dunn puts the shot up, one-handed, no good, but there's Robinson with the putback, no good. Well, Dunn with the putback, no good. Now finally the ball is out to Robinson, back to Gardner, and the Lady Cardinals look to reset their offense. Looking to take their first lead of the game. Gardner with a three-pointer, no good. Just got a piece of the glass, but none of the rim. 9-8, almost halfway through the first half at 9-8. This is timeout by Paris. And, Jason, this has got to be a pace that Paris really likes coming in here at this rate.
Yeah, to hold Trinity Valley to 8 points in about, 9.5 minutes. That's pretty good. That's about all you can hope for at this point with a lead. So, Sean LaBelle clarifying that he wanted a 30-second timeout. So,
it's not the start that the Lady Cardinals necessarily wanted, Jason. I mean, obviously it's way early in the game, so there's no reason, no need to panic at this point. But at some point, you just want to find that flow, find that rhythm, and be smooth in what you do. You just haven't seen that on the offensive end.
Yeah, and I was just thinking that definitely other teams that are playing Trinity Valley right now, like we mentioned, the blend game was a loss at the buzzer. And, Tyler was just one of those games where they just dominated them, for most of the game. But that's the thing about the Lady Cards that we've seen is they just have been playing a lot of teams really close. So you want to see them at some point turn it on. You want to see the light go on and see them start to build some distance in the game between themselves and their opponents. That just hasn't been the case lately. So, like we've been saying, that you got to do a lot of that on defense. You got to let a lot of that lead to some offense, and you got to limit your turnovers and hit free throws, and that's all stuff that they're just not doing well right now.
Back in play, Paris with the basketball. Great steal by Janae Barrett. Sabrina McKinney controls the ball, but the play was made by Barrett. Here's a chance to take their first lead of the game. Janae Barrett did not score against Tyler in the loss the other afternoon, I should say. Tried to get the ball down low to Dunn, but that entry pass was not as good as it should have been. It could have been. And this turnover for the Lady Cardinals. 9-8, and we are halfway through this first half.
And a couple of times they've got the ball down to Dunn. Paris has done a good job of keeping her body turned to where it's kind of hard for her. We see the turnover there. Paris is 7. It's been kind of hard for Dunn to get into a good position to take a shot. The shot before that was previously kind of hooked it over the rim altogether and missed out completely. So Paris has done a good defensive job down there on the low block.
Lady Cardinals basketball at midcourt after the Paris turnover. Just got to find it. Got to find it. April's not on the floor now, so somebody else has got to pick up the scoring slack, and they didn't do a very good job of that against Tyler. Good job of getting the ball down low to Brandy Days for the easy points, and that's the first Lady Cardinal lead at the 9:38 mark. Nice job by Brandy Days controlling the rebound off the miss. And now the Lady Cardinals are on the attack. That's what they want to do. They want to force the Paris's defense to get down there and get set up in a hurry. Really trying to get the ball inside tonight, it looks. Barrett almost lost the ball. Back out to Dukes. Dukes puts up a three-pointer. No good. Janae Barrett with the rebound. Gets it down low to Dace underneath. She puts it up. No good. And the ball's going to sail out of bounds off the Lady Dragons. So Lady Cardinals got 2 shots at it there. Didn't make it happen for them, but they did get a benefit by the loose ball sailing out of bounds.
Trinity Valley has a 5-1 edge on offensive rebounds right now, so that's definitely something. I mean, that's kept them in the game as it is right now. It's like I said, it's still early, but
Tradition going to have an offensive foul. Will be charged on Alice Robinson away from the ball. Typically, we see the Lady Cardinals about the final minutes of the first half, the last 5 minutes, I should say, go on runs, spurts, and we'll be interested to see if they're able to pull that off tonight, because it's really been a low-score game, 10-9. Lady Cardinals' press has been a little bit more effective tonight. Now, they haven't capitalized on it on the offensive end, but they've created some turnovers and have caused Paris to start their offense from way outside the perimeter. There'll be a blocking foul called against the Lady Cardinals. I thought they had done a pretty good job of the trap over there. This one's going to go against Sabrina McKinney. Of course, with her being the only really legitimate point guard on the play that gets some playing time now, they can't let her get in foul trouble, obviously. Three-pointer, no good. Days couldn't control the rebound. Ball's going to go out of bounds off the Lady Cardinals. 10-9, 8:25 left in the first half. Very low-scoring game. Lady Cardinals just haven't had the offensive punch that we saw in early January in the last month. They've been winning, but they haven't had the punch. Rebound is controlled by Days. He quickly gets it out to McKinney. She doesn't have numbers. Paris did a great job of getting back. Janae Barrett can't get a shot to fall. The rebound's going to go off of Brittany Dukes and belong to the Lady Dragons. We see Capel, Scott, and Gardner checking back in for the Lady Cardinals.
Well, Trinity Valley started 0-7 bidding, and they had that stretch where they hit 3 of 4 shots and back on a 1-for-9 kick now. So you see that with the score, 10-9, as you mentioned. That's what's going to happen.
Drive by Hannah. She's going to draw a foul. I think that may be a go against Capels. It does. That would be her second personal foul. You definitely want to have her have 3 fouls to play with in the second half, I would think. But with offense struggling right now, can you afford to not have her on the floor? That's kind of what Kenya and Michael Landers are going to have to decide.
Well, somebody has got to take charge and be a consistent scoring threat. I know that sounds crazy on a team with a conference leading scorer, but you know, they need somebody to step up and be consistent.
Duke's back in for Capels. I would think Capels wouldn't be back in to start until the second half. Three-pointer, no good. Parrish is battling and getting the rebounds, and that was a great job by Destiny Smith. And Parrish back on top, 11-10. But you're so right, Jason. Somebody's got to say, okay, I'll be this team leader with Shakayla out of the game. But we just haven't seen anybody. Brittany Dukes has the capability of doing that. She misses that three-pointer. Lady Cardinals are really having to work on the offensive end.
Trinity Valley 0 for 6 from three-point range, and there you see their 10th turnover. So this is a tough time.
Don't really want to be struggling like this come late February. Of course, Parrish is trying to strengthen their position. It's a great job of Alice Robinson getting a piece of the ball and give it Brittany Dukes controls. And I thought it might have went off a Paris player, but they're saying no, it did not, so that will be a turnover. Lady Cardinals have now turned the ball 11 times. 11 turnovers already for the Lady Cardinals. That's just, it's going to be a struggle when you're doing that.
That pass there was not the kind of pass you'd expect to see in late February when you've been playing together for so long.
Easy job down, easy basket down low, I should say, but Dominic Mosley catching the loose ball. 13-10 Paris.
For fourth point.
Gardner gets the ball to Scott, but she was caught too far along the backboard, the glass. Scott makes a power move, can't get that to fall, and it's just not falling for the Lady Cardinals. This is just not a basketball team that's in good sync right now. Randy Dace is going to check back in. Coming up on the 6-minute mark, and we are 13-10. Nice job by Destiny Smith making the Lady Cardinals commit to the double team and dishing it off to Dominic Mosley. And we have a timeout charged to the Lady Cardinals. This will be a full timeout. They're trailing 15-10 with 5:48 left in the first half. 15-10.
That was a very basketball-savvy play there by Destiny Smith. She knew when she started to turn around and do that fadeaway move, she was going to get some defenders closing in, and she just kind of tipped it right off to Mosley there for the easy bucket. And Mosley has 6 points now, and 5-point lead for Paris. 10 points in 15 minutes.
And no matter what happens the rest of the way, the pace that Paris is making the Lady Cardinals play at right now plays into what Paris has done in hands, because they don't want to get into a scoring fest with the Lady Cardinals. And the Lady Cardinals haven't scored a lot of points as of late. If we could call up their game-by-game results, we'll take a look at how the scoring's broken down over the last few. You see if that run where they had 116 against San Jacinto, then the 86 against Glenn. Since then, Jason, you're looking at 65, 78, 72, 71, and 65. And this is a team that was early in the year was averaging in the upper 80s and close to 90. And it's the second half of the season just has not turned out the same way for the Lady Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what you do. I mean, I guarantee you, as you probably well know, that Kenya and Michael Landers are doing everything they can to try to figure this out. And it's just obvious they have not figured it out yet. You just look at the scoreboard, 10 points as you are getting close to 5 minutes left in a half is just not Trinity Valley basketball.
And if you're going to be struggling on the offensive end, you got to be playing great defense, because it means you're going to have to be settled. You got to be satisfied with winning games that are in the 60s and 50s range. Resuming play, the Lady Cardinals ball down 15-10. Again, Caples went out with just over 7 minutes left with her second personal foul. I think it was around the 7:40 mark. Good job of getting the ball inside to Robinson, but she loses it, and yet another turnover for the Lady Cardinals. That's number 12 of the half. Ten seconds on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Fourth shot was blocked by Janae Barrett. Paris Price laid up a shot. Gardner's going to go coast to coast with the layup, and there's what you got to have from somebody. Maybe Kawana Gardner's the one that'll step up and say, "I'll take this team now, thank you."
Well, that's definitely her body language on that one. She didn't look like she was stopping anywhere short of the basket, so that's exactly what they need.
Mosley working down low against Dace, misses, but the rebound goes to Hannah. She scores on the putback. 17-12. Gardner puts up the three-pointer, in and out. Ball's going to go out of bounds off of the Lady Dragons. Possession will remain with the Lady Cardinals. Again, we're going to have Pat Smith, the men's basketball coach at Trinity Valley, join us at halftime of the women's game. Lady Cardinals need to work on this deficit before the half. 5's not that much, but 5 can become 10 if you don't watch out. Janae Barrett with a nice drive. The shot will not fall. She grabs the rebound and gets the putback. So a great job by Janae Barrett of keeping the ball alive and getting the points. Lady Cardinals are, Brandy Dace with the foul. Hit the floor hard over her head. Maybe she's just stunned more than she is hurt. Yeah, she's up. So he Paris' ball underneath. Brittany Dukes back into the game for Gardner. Baseline jumper good, Destiny Smith. She averages 10.5 a game.
Got 5 here tonight.
And another turnover, 13 for the half. This should result in, oh no, it shouldn't either. Thanks to Alice Robinson, a great hustling play that denied a shot by the Lady Dragons and didn't have to foul to do it. 19-14, 5-point Paris lead.
Excuse me, I said Smith had 5. He's got 7 right now.
Mosley makes a power move and gets it to fall. Nice job by the post player out of Chicago, Illinois.
8 points now for Mosley.
Brittany Deuce with a three-pointer knocks it down. That's what the Lady Cardinals have got to have. They've got to start attacking, whether it be from the perimeter or attacking the goal itself. They've got to make things happen. They can't just sit back and hope things happen. You got a Paris team that's talented, is in here tonight trying to pull off the upset. Figured they'd come in and catch the Lady Cardinals licking their wounds from the Tyler loss, and sure enough, they're hanging tough. Lady Cardinals give them an easy one there to Bianca Hanna. Again, these two played in December. Lady Cardinals won 60-54. Janae Barrett attacks and draws the foul. Going to send her to the free throw line. Janae Barrett at the free throw line. Hit 69% of her free throws on the season. She's averaging 8.4 points a game. Has hit 23 three-pointers. First free throw is no good. Trying to erase the deficit, you got to hit your free throws because the clock's not running, as they say, and nobody's guarding you.
Just looked at my sheet here, Benny, and Paris has hit 7 of their last 9 shots. That's a nice little rate that they're shooting at.
And the second one falls, makes it a 23-18 game. Coming up with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the opening half. Three-point attempt, no good. And the Lady Cardinals are not keeping Paris off the boards. And Smith grabs the rebound and tries to make the putback. Doesn't get it to fall, but is fouled. Destiny Smith from Mount Pleasant, Texas, a sophomore, is going to the free throw line to shoot 2. Paris up 23-18. First free throw attempt is good. Paris is hitting free throws. Haven't tried that many, have they? Is it their second of the game?
That is their second. But they're 2 for 2, and Trinity Valley right now is 1 of 4. And it appears they're going to need every point they can get tonight.
And the second one falls.
9 points now for Smith. She's well on her way to her average.
7-point Paris lead. They started the game ahead 7-0 before the Lady Cardinals scored. On the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Barrett puts up a long ranger, no good. Dunn controls the rebound. Going to be called for walking on the putback.
14 turnovers now for Trinity Valley. On pace to surpass their 27 from this past weekend in Tyler.
Well, no doubt. If they have that many in the second half, though, the chances of a comeback are going to be pretty slim unless they force a lot of turnovers themselves. Mosley working against Dunn. Loses the ball. Scott loses it out of bounds, so it will stay with the Lady Dragons, and it'll be 13 seconds on the shot clock. 25-18. Coming up on a minute left in the opening half. Brittany Deuce controls. Lady Cardinals have numbers 3-1 to Barrett. Misses the layup. 3-1 opportunity and missed the layup, but the Lady Cardinals are going to come out of it with the ball still. But if they won't get many easier shots than that. I don't know where McKinney was trying to get the ball to that time. There were 4 Paris defenders, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to turn it over, so the ball goes back over to the Lady Dragons. Less than a minute to go. They've held the number 3 team in the nation to 18 points in the first half. Watson puts up the shot, no good. Rebound goes off of Dunn's hands, and Lady Dragons have it, and they can run out this first half.
Well, the Lady Cards are just getting out hustled. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They're just getting out hustled to lose balls.
Not sure I'd want to be in the locker room at halftime. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Paris. Mosley, put back, knocks it down at the buzzer, and just like that at halftime, Paris is going to be up by a score of 27-18 at the half. A stunner in process here at Cardinal Gym tonight. Paris taking on the Lady Cardinals are having a hard time scoring, and definitely are struggling to find points. We're expecting Pat Smith to join us here momentarily. We'll visit Pat at halftime. Again, our halftime score is Paris 27 and the Lady Cardinals 18. In a very slow-paced first half and a sloppy first half for the Lady Cardinals. See the Cardinal cheerleaders taking to the floor for a performance. And we are joined now by Cardinal basketball coach Pat Smith, whose squad will take the floor tonight around 7:30 to take on Paris. And Pat, last time you played Paris, of course, you only scored 47 points, and I think that's probably the squad's poorest performance of the season, at least on the offensive end. But how do you match up against Paris otherwise?
I wonder who was coaching the offense that night.
Well, you told me that after that game that you fired him, but you rehired him.
I rehired myself 6 hours later. Yeah. That was back when the NFL was going through all those offensive coordinator changes and all that, so I thought that's what we were supposed to do in basketball. They just really got into us. We didn't play very well. I don't think we're the same team, but in response to what we're going to do different tonight, we're going to try to score some more points. And, at the same time, we got to guard well. I think they're just a really good team, Benny. They've got tremendous versatility. They've got, it seems like 8, 9, 10 guys that can play. I swear they all look the same size. Can't tell who their posts are. Can't tell who their guards are. They've got 2 kids, Xavier Roberson, number 4, and A.J. Jones, number 24, 2 of the top 10 players in this league. Their season has mirrored ours a little bit in that they got off to an 0-3 start in the league, and then they ended up coming back and actually leading the league by themselves. And here lately they've dropped a couple of tough games. I mean, what separates us from them, and right now at this point, to be blunt, is them blowing a 16-point lead at Tyler. So, they're a real good team tonight as we go into this game. And, I'm hoping that we have a little bit of what I call the Green Bay Packers syndrome, where every game they played at the end of the year was an important game in the regular season. And don't tell me that didn't help them a lot come playoffs.
Oh, no question about that. Of course, it is a big game for your squad tonight, Pat, but there's a lot of things out there that you can accomplish with a win tonight. You can guarantee yourself a bye at the regional tournament. I know you spoke about that last year with me a couple of times, and even this year we talked about how important it is to only have to play 3 games as opposed to 4 games in 5 days. And you can also go a long way in wrapping up the North Zone portion of the conference race.
It was so of no worse than the Tide, no matter what happens tonight between San Jack and Navarro. It would sew up one of the top 2 seeds. We had 3 goals at the start of the year. And that was to go ahead and get 2 automatic buys, to win a conference championship, and to be playing on Monday night in Tyler, Texas. So actually 2 of the 3 goals we had can be reached tonight. Maybe that's what it makes it a big game tonight, but the first key we got in there on the board for our players is enjoy the moment, live in the moment. And if you get so hyped up about the game, you're not going to execute, you're not going to play as well as you can. It's all about the process of getting ready to play. To me, this is just simply game number 29. Let's go out and play the best game we played all year.
Of course, Pat, you also wear the athletic director's hat here at Trinity Valley, and we've got our men and women both been ranked in the NCAA top 25 the entire season. The only school in the conference to pull that off, so that's quite a feather in our cap here at Trinity Valley.
Well, I mean, with the job, with how good our women's program's been over the years, I'll venture to say within my lifetime, I might never see a time we're not ranked. I mean, they've been that good, they've been that dominant. I do think that in the 90s, Trinity Valley women's basketball brought women's basketball as a whole up. And that's why today I think it's much better at the junior college level. The Landers are doing a great job. I know they're struggling a bit here tonight, but you know, I've seen them struggle this time of year and end up in Salina, Kansas. And with us being ranked at the same time, Benny, we're just trying to go ahead and we're just trying to add another really strong program to the fold here. But as AD, I'm very proud of all our teams. Our football team made the conference championship. Men's women's basketball are doing well. Watching to see if Coach Spain doesn't really get our volleyball program going well. And on top of that, I think Coach Johnson's got a real strong softball team, which will be introduced at halftime here tonight.
Exactly. Well, Pat, I know the first time you and I talked after you got the job here at Trinity Valley on the night in May back in 2006, I remember what you told me. One of the first things you told me was when you came here, it's all about Hutch. Get into Hutchinson, Kansas.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, I've changed my tune for tonight. Tonight's all about winning the conference championship.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, Benny, if we happen to get this thing done tonight, I think we'll take 4 hours before we start thinking about the next game.
I'm not going to ask you about the next game. I'm not going to mention the next game.
I had to get that in.
Yeah, you got a shot in on me Saturday over at the Tyler game, too, after the game. I heard that on KYYK, but it's all in.
That wasn't a shot, Benny. That was just good nature driven.
Well, I guess it's publicity. I guess it just matters what kind of publicity that
No, let me tell you, Benny, I got over that night after the game, and I said, guys, we can't enjoy this. Benny's right. We don't need 2 hours to get ready. We got to start getting ready right now.
Yeah, that was a huge win over Tyler. We haven't talked about that here tonight. To go over there to beat Tyler at their place like that on the day when they were honoring their Hall of Fame members, I mean, that's just huge.
Yeah, that was our home angle. I kidded Mike Marquis and Tim Grain. I said, yeah, you only bring teams in for homecoming and Hall of Fame induction that you know you're going to beat. So we use that with our players for better or for worse. But I tell you what, it was a huge win because I don't know. We've been pretty good on the road the time I've been here. We haven't been good over there. And that was a huge win. And I told our guys going into the game, I said, I'm going to tell you something. I've not won over here since I've been back in this league. And that has nothing to do with you all. I said, well, let's go get it done now. And our guys did a great job. We hung tough. Gilstrap hit a tremendously huge shot with around a minute left. It gave us a lead. But, you know, we worked all game long, Benny, to get to that point, to have a chance to win it. We knew it was going to come down to a couple of plays. And thank the good Lord we made them, and we're successful.
You know, one word I've used when I'm talking about to your team and folks about this year is I like to use the word fearless. They just, any situation that arises, they seem like they rise to the occasion. It doesn't really phase them at all.
No, and you know, that's one reason why I feel like that, you know, we've won 10 of our last 12 games. 2 losses are in overtime. Those were tough losses. We didn't play very well against Angelina. But, you know, the whole key in this league, and you've been around this league longer than I have been, is not to have sustained losing streaks. To come back that next game, and you got to have a little fearlessness like you talked about. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the last loss. We'll get ready for this next game and get ready to get it done. And our guys have just done a real good job with that game-by-game focus.
And I really saw some kind of transformation in your team, so to speak. You were playing Panola here back in January. You were down 21-4 at halftime. They looked like they've been a different team since that game to me. When they came from behind and won that game, they just looked like their confidence level just exploded.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. You know, it all started. We were down 21-4 early. We struggled back. We got back. Then they made another run, went up 11 in the second half. Looked like we were kind of done. But, you know, we talk to our players all the time about this. You never know if they're listening. Just play each possession, get down there in the game and see where it takes you. And we ended up making a huge steal. Darius Gadsden did on the hustle play. Daniel Yambi got his only dunk of his career. We held on and won. And since then, we've been really hard to beat. And, you know, in this league, you need that sometimes. But that had a lot to do, I think, with the never say die type of attitude our guys have had all year. I think they've really hung in there. They battled. And, you know, I don't mean this negatively. We don't have a super ultra talented team, but we have a lot of good players. They play well together. Their hearts are in the right place. And as a consequence, I think maybe the sum of the whole has been a little bit better than the individual parts. And hopefully we'll continue to be.
Well, I know you told me at the end of last season that you had to go out and get more scores. So last year, you know, let's face it, Blake was it. He was the scorer. But this year, man, you look at your scoring average this year, it's just spread across the board.
You know, Harvard did struggle a little bit. Well, he busted out last game at 29. Gilstrap had 2 the game before, but he had 14 last game, including the game winner. Seemed like we just had a lot of guys, you know. I mean, one night not behind. Gadsden's really stepped up as a scorer this year. He's had quite a few 20-point games. But the whole key for us so far has been the fact I think we've been real good defensively.
Yeah.
And that needs to continue to be at the forefront of everything we do because we are a defensive team. I'm a defensive coach. But with that said, Benny, we need to score more than 48 points tonight.
Yeah, that will probably be advised. Well, Pat, Jason and I were talking earlier. The season's just flown by.
Oh, man.
For this to be the last home game of the season, and this time next week we'll be talking about the regional tournament over in Tyler.
But, Benny, maybe it only really struggles. Maybe it only goes real slow when you're losing.
Maybe so.
Coach Furr and I were talking about that tonight after the shoot-around this afternoon, that this season, it's hard to believe. I've got 5 guys, including 4 transfers. This will be the last game they ever play here.
Right.
It kind of flies by, but I thought, maybe that's a product of our success this year. But, we talk to our players all the time, get ready for the next game. And when the next game's here, yeah, it's a big game tonight. We're playing a really good team. It would not surprise me to see this team playing on Monday night in Tyler.
Well, they've got a history of that in the last 5 years as well. Them and Navarro have been right there every year.
I don't understand how they changed coaches and seem to have the same type of teams. I mean, it doesn't matter who coaches there. I mean, they've had good coaches. Bill Foy, Ross Hodge, Tom Schubert came in last year and did an outstanding job.
Right.
I've known Chuck for a long time, got a lot of respect for him. Coach Taylor, the head coach now at Paris. But they seem to have the same type of team every year. Got a bunch of 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", all can shoot it. A couple of them can post. Just good players. And I don't know. I tell you what, you keep waiting for that thing to drop a little bit down there, and I don't see it. They're really strong this year.
Well, Pat, we'd like to thank you for stopping by a little earlier tonight instead of at the end of your game, and wish you and the Cardinals the best of luck tonight. And just think this time next week it'll be tournament time.
Yeah, it will be. And, I can't tell you how much I appreciate Dr. Forgy, TVCC, and you guys that put this game on. I know it makes a big difference when we got people that can watch our players play. We got recruits that can watch the game. I know my family enjoys watching it. This is really a great deal we've done this year as far as getting these games broadcast. And for all the people that made it possible, I really appreciate it, Ben.
Anyway, Pat, thanks for stopping by, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
You bet. We're at halftime. Halftime's about over here for the women's game. And, of course, if you're just tuning in, we've got an upset in the making with Paris leading the Lady Cardinals by a score of 27-18 at the half. Lady Cardinals really struggled in the first half. They turned the ball over, I think it was 13 times in the first half. They just struggled offensively. So we'll see how this one goes. They played the last 7 minutes and 40 seconds of the first half without Shakayla Caples, the leading scorer in the conference. Of course, the last time the Lady Cardinals played Paris, she didn't even play because of an illness. So let's see what the Lady Cardinals have, Jason, as they try to climb back in this one, trailing 27-18 at the half.
Well, right now, Caples is their leading scorer with 4 points, and that's stunning. So they're going to have a lot better second half, and I think that's the understatement of the year.
Again, I'd like to thank Pat Smith for dropping by and joining us tonight at halftime of the women's game. And always enjoy visiting with Pat. Paris has the ball to start the second half. Up by 9. Great job there by Jasmine Scott of anticipating the pass and coming up with the steal. Caples on the attack, puts up the shot, gets it to fall. That's what they're going to have. Shakayla Caples is going to have a big second half, and of course she's going to have to be careful and not pick up that third foul too quickly. Tyler's leading Kilgore at the half, 32-26, in a huge game being played over at Tyler tonight. Lon Morris is ahead of Jacksonville, 30-28 at the half. I'd like to thank our buddy Mike Monfort for sending these scores along to us tonight here on the Cardinal Sports Network. 3 on the shot clock. Destiny Smith forces up a shot from close range, can't get it to fall. Caples is stripped as she attempts to put up a shot. Ball goes back over to the Lady Dragons, up 27-20. On a warm night here at Cardinal Gym. Three-pointer is up and good. Big three-pointer, Bianca Hanna. And just like that, it's a 10-point Lady Dragon lead. Kiwana Gardner trying to create something. Instead, she puts up a shot that is rebounded and going to be a traveling violation called against Destiny Smith, who was there for the rebound. Lady Cardinals are really going to have to find a way to light their energy level, raise it, because they just happened in the first half for them. You can see their body language if they're frustrated. Ball down low to Scott, back out to Gardner. Gardner puts up a three, forces up a three off the side of the backboard. Keeps saying the backboard, he's the glass. He's telling real old school. Just not a lot of energy in the building tonight so far. Destiny Smith gets her own rebound, misses the putback. Alice Robinson controls for the Lady Cardinals. Caples with the drive. The ball is stripped and sails out of bounds. It will stay with the Lady Cardinals. Brittany Gaines checks into the game for Bianca Hanna. (30-20) favor of Paris. And there's a steal. Great job by Obi. Going to convert it into a layup, and the biggest lead of the game for the Lady Dragons, up 12, 32-20. Lady Cardinals really going to have to find a button to push here.
4 points now for Obi.
Caples, no good. Rebound controlled by Obi. Again, Paris has never defeated the Lady Cardinals in the history of both schools. I think it's something like 74, 75 meetings, and Lady Cardinals have won them all, but that streak is in jeopardy here tonight. Going to be an offensive foul charge to Jones. Of course, the regional tournament starts next week at UT Tyler in Tyler. Women's first round games will be on Friday. Men's tournament starts on Thursday. Lady Cardinals are one win away from being conference champion for a 10th straight year and getting the number one seed. But the way it's going tonight, it may have to wait till Saturday at Carthage against Panola. Caples on the drive, gets the bucket, cuts into the 12-point Paris lead by 2, 32-22 now. Pressure defense going to make the Lady Dragons burn a lot of time in the backcourt. Great job of McKinney on the trap and the steal. Going to miss the wide open layup, and the ball is going to go back to the Lady Dragons. Paris Price. Well, the Lady Cardinals just blew an opportunity there. How do you miss that layup?
That's absolutely unacceptable. You can't do that.
Three-pointer, no good. Rebound is controlled by the Lady Dragons, and the putback is missed, and it sails out of bounds. Jones with the putback, rebound into the putback. It's going to be Lady Cardinal basketball. Nice home crowd here tonight. A lot of red on Red Out night. Caples, three-pointer, no good. Brittany Dukes controls the rebound.
Looks like Caples is hurt. She's down, not getting up.
Now she's up. Catch her breath here. Jasmine Scott with a power move is going to be fouled. Should go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Again, the Lady Cardinals have dug themselves a hole. Down 10 now. We're down 12, 32-20. Jasmine Scott's going to go to the free throw. I'm not sure the Lady Cardinals have hit a free throw tonight, have they?
Well, they've hit one.
One, okay. 32-22, 15-41. Certainly a pace that favors Paris at this point.
They're 1 of 4.
First free throw attempt is no good. And the second one finds the mark. Single-digit lead now for Paris, 32-23. 15:30 left in the game. Caples with the rebound. This is go time now for the Lady Cardinals. It's time to make a move.
Well, you can't wait. You know, there's a lot of time left, but with the way that things are going right now for Trinity Valley, you've got to go ahead and try to get it when you can.
So I say the ball went off of the Lady Dragons. Many members of the Cardinal football team in attendance across the way tonight, as are members of the volleyball team and the softball teams. All the groups have done a good job of supporting each other this year. Of course, the Cardettes and Cardinal cheerleaders are always here. Foul away from the ball on Jasmine Scott. Goes into the turnover. That's her second foul.
Third turnover of the half, 18th for the game for Trinity Valley.
Lady Cardinals need one win to wrap up a 10th straight conference championship in the top seed at the regional tournament in Tyler. It's not looking good right now for this game. Still way plenty of time to mount a comeback. Not suggesting otherwise, but at some point it's got to get started.
Nobody on that backside for that rebound back there. Actually, Watson was all by herself.
Of course, Paris is going to be content taking time to get shots off with the lead they've got. 10 on the shot clock. Mosley, jumper no good. Rebound goes off of Jasmine Scott. Gardner and Robinson in for Caples and Days. This would be a huge win for the Lady Dragon basketball program if they're able to hold on and pull this one off. Also give them a shot at a better seed at the regional tournament. Nice job. Nice move by Bianca Hanna. Finishes it off with this bucket. Lady Cardinals quickly down to the offensive end. McKinney looking to get the ball inside to Robinson. No go. Alice Robinson down low. It's going to be fouled. I'm probably going to call that on Mosley from behind. That's who it's going to be charged to. Be 2 free throw attempts for Lady Cardinals.
Now that's 3 on Mosley. That would hurt. She's got 10 points right now. She's been a big part of the reason that they're ahead.
Robinson to the free throw line. Got to hit these. I mean, you're to the point now where there's no margin for error. And boy, she doesn't. It's just been an all-around struggle. There's no doubt about it. But you got to give Paris some credit too. They are playing hard and out-hustling the Lady Cardinals, and she misses both free throws. Rebound is controlled by the Lady Dragons.
Trinity Valley is 2 of 8 from the free throw line right now.
Yeah, 6 points added to the deficit right now would really get you right back in the game. Great job of getting the ball down low to Mosley for the bucket, and she's going to be fouled. I mean, Brittany Duke's on the foul. Going to be a chance for a 3-point play. Caples is back into the game. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. Full timeout's going to be charged to the Lady Cardinals. Down 36-23. Paris will be at the free throw line. Again, we have the men's game to follow tonight. Cardinals looking for a chance to wrap up a bye in the first round of the regional tournament next week. They've got a 1-game lead over Navarro at this point. Of course, Navarro's got a big game tonight, Jason, down in Pasadena playing San Jacinto.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. Tough place to play, too.
See, Michael Landis is getting a word in during this timeout, getting his point across. very good in-game coach and motivator, but boy, at some point the players have really got to take it upon themselves, Jason, and raise their games.
Well, and, it was interesting. Kenny and Michael kind of took a step back during that timeout and just looked at the bench for a few minutes. Not a few minutes, but a few seconds, I should say, and didn't approach the team for about a long 10 seconds there. And I think, if you're asking me my opinion, I think the body language reads, what do we do? What do you do? They can't go out there and score. They can't go out there and make good decisions with the basketball. They certainly can't go out there and hit free throws. What do you do? I don't know. That's just tough.
Well, they certainly got to find an energy level, though, that's not there right now. They've got to get up on their toes on defense and create turnovers. And we'll see how this final 13-25 plays out. But Paris is in excellent shape right now. In the past, we've seen the Lady Cardinals get down. You have sensed a run will be coming, but I've seen nothing in this one to suggest there's going to be a run.
I agree.
36-23. Of course, Lady Cardinals ranked number 3 in the nation, coming off a 69-65 loss to Tyler this past Saturday over in Tyler. Haven't lost at home this season, undefeated at home. Free throw attempt is no good. Rebound controlled by Gardner. The football team is raising the energy level in the crowd, trying to get behind the Lady Cardinals, maybe fire them up just a little bit. Dukes' pull-up jumper is blocked by Gaines, number 10.
Here's a pretty stunning statistic right now. 23 points for Trinity Valley, 18 turnovers. Almost as many turnovers as points.
Dukes to Caples. Caples tried to get it inside to Scott, but was fouled. Foul is going to be called on Price, number 5, for the Lady Dragons. Be Paris' 4th team foul of the second half. Of course, Lady Cardinals like to get to the free throw line, but they're going to have to do more than just get there. They're going to have to convert, as Jason mentioned. They're struggling from the free throw line tonight. Caples spots Robinson underneath for the easy bucket, and that's a great job of finding the open player and converting into points. And the crowd's getting into it a little bit here now, so maybe that'll help and spur the Lady Cardinals on. They can sense that the Lady Cardinals need some help tonight. 11-point game. And you can see the energy level from the Lady Cardinals. Jason, they're, what I like to say, up on their toes down there. Much different looking team that time on the defensive end. Brittany Dukes runs the break, gets it to Scott. Scott converts, and just like that, you can sense it now, Jason. And I think the crowd gets an assist for this little mini run so far.
You bet. Yeah, that's exactly what Trinity Valley needs right now, is this crowd to get rowdy and get into it. Because there's no doubt they can feed off of that now as they cut that lead to 9.
But you can see it in the way of the body language of the Lady Cardinals, and we have a timeout. Sean LaBeouf, the Paris coach, senses what's going on, and he wants to give this crowd a chance to kind of sit down and be quiet for a second. So Lady Cardinals with a little spurt here, 4-0, 36-27 with 12:02 left. Plenty of time left to get this done. But that was a good minute and a half there by the Lady Cardinals. And again, I say that you give the football team across the way a lot of credit in trying to get this place fired up a little bit.
Yeah, well, they were definitely the last home game. We're also the most vociferous bunch in the group, and that's what Trinity Valley needs. Before that 36-second span where they had a couple of buckets, they hadn't had a field goal since the 16:53 mark, so right about 17 minutes, and that was Shakayla Caples. And before that, for the first 40 seconds of the game, or 30 seconds of the game, I should say, before that, was the only other field goal. So maybe they're finally starting to heat up a little bit.
Well, again, I think it was a great timeout used by Paris, too, because, Paris is very aware of what the Lady Cardinals program is about and what they've done in this building alone. And they didn't want to let that 4-0 run become 6-0. Then all of a sudden you're talking about the Lady Cardinals are really into the game energy-wise. But you can just see the difference once the crowd got into it, the way the Lady Cardinals handled themselves on the defensive end. You can just see it. Just at the moment it happened.
They're going to need a lot more of that. Last 12:02 here.
Of course, they did this last week at Tyler. Got down by 17 in the first half. Then came charging back in the second half. But, boy, you just hate to keep having to do that. And you certainly don't expect to have to do it at home necessarily. Paris has the basketball. Coming up on 10 seconds on the shot clock. Crowd getting back into it again after the timeout. Lady Cardinals need to stop. Shot clock at 1. And a shot clock violation. Great job of defense by the Lady Cardinals. That's just the 5th turnover
of the half.
Of the half, okay.
Yeah, it's their 13th of the game.
Lady Cardinals need to capitalize on the turnover, of course. Gardner gets a pick from Robinson. Dishes it off to McKinney. McKinney turns down the shot, now puts up the jumper. Misses badly. Gets an air ball from about 17 feet. That really hurts there. Well, you just wanted to score on that possession after you worked so hard on the defensive end to get a shot clock violation.
Doesn't look like McKinney's shooting a lot of confidence right now, and I think she's got to go ahead and just fire away from 3 right there. You're behind, and she had a completely wide open look. So
yeah, she had a good spot. Three-point attempt, no good. Oh, Mosley does a great job of battling Robinson for the rebound and getting the putback, and that's a big bucket for the Lady Dragons.
The 14th point of the game right there.
Going to be a foul called against the Lady Dragons. It's going to be charged to Bianca Hanna, number 11. 38-27. Gardner to Caples. Caples looking to create. Spinning move, one-handed jumper. Doesn't get the roll, but there's Alice Robinson for the putback. The big putback by Alice Robinson, a 6-foot freshman out of Bossier City, Louisiana.
4 points now for Robinson.
The lead is still at 9 for the Lady Dragons. There you go. Jasmine Scott up into the passing lane, gets a piece of the ball. No, she didn't come up with the steal, but she interrupted the Paris offense with 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Coming up on the 10-minute mark of the second half. We'll be halfway finished with this one. This half anyway. Mosley with the miss. Caples with the rebound. Here come the Lady Cardinals. Caples running the show. Going to be stripped. Sometimes she tries to do a little much and turns it over. Of course, this time she fights for the loose ball. You got to give her credit for that. And gets the tie ball, and the possession error goes over to the Lady Cardinals.
Sometimes I think she carries that ball a little too low in there, you know, and that's the old Sean Bradley problem. They used to try to teach him to keep the ball above his hips, and she's just driving in there and keeps the ball too low.
Scott with the jumper high off the glass, no good. Well, Lady Cardinals needed a bucket there. We're under 10 minutes now to go in the game. That's going to be a turnover, and the Lady Cardinals have got to capitalize. Well, you just sense, Jason, that they could be close to something here, but they missed an opportunity the last time down, and now they get a turnover here. So they've got to, you got to convert. You've got to convert.
Yeah, definitely. And they were very fortunate of that turnover there because Newsom was kind of open down there. So I agree. You definitely got to get points here.
Need somebody to knock down a three here. Caples does a great job of keeping the loose ball alive. And I believe Kenya Landers is going to use a timeout. Going to resettle the squad just a little bit. It is going to be a timeout charged to the Lady Cardinals, a 30-second timeout. 9:10 left in the game, 38-29 Paris. Golden opportunity for the Lady Dragons here.
We talk about how important possessions are versus the timeouts you call to save them. With 9:10 left, Kenya Landers obviously saw that they were in danger of losing a possession there, and you saw her call that 30-second timeout. And it just kind of goes to show you, I may be reading too much into it, but, at that point in the game, with 9:10 left, every possession is very important.
Oh, it is. Without question, it is. When you struggle to score tonight, that you got to take advantage of every opportunity that you get. It's good to see as many students and fans that have taken part in the Red Out tonight. There's a lot of red shirts in the crowd for Cardinal fans, and why not? It gets you into the game free. Pickles with the inbounds pass. Forces up a shot, knocks it down, forced up a shot over a double team. That's a big bucket there. Now suddenly it's a 7-point game. Here come the Lady Cardinals. This may be the surge that we've been looking for.
And that puts her at 10 points now, way below her average, obviously, but starting to heat up.
15 on the shot clock. You see the Lady Cardinals are working on the defensive end here now. That's just a really nice job. They missed a wide open shot down low, but the ball's going to sail out of bounds off of the Lady Cardinals. It's going to be 5 seconds on the shot clock. See if, Paris knows that. Here's Sean Dubuque, the Paris coach, telling the squad you got 5. He's not happy with the squad right now. You can see a frown on his face, a little bit of concern here. That's going to be Jasmine Scott with the steal. She's going to go the distance, put up the layup, going to draw the foul, and going to have a chance at a 3-point play. And just like that, the Lady Cardinals are going to be seriously back into this basketball game with the bucket counting at the 8:30 mark. Great job by Jasmine Scott getting the steal, making her mind that she was going the distance. Needs to hit this free throw, though, for sure.
Well, here's what I liked about that, Benny. I mean, she wasn't going to try to get fancy or cute with that right there. She was going straight to the bucket.
And the free throw is good. Isn't it funny, Jason, when your body language improves and picks up with more confidence, how the shots start falling and the free throws look perfect?
It is. 4 points down. This crowd is definitely back into this game.
No question about it. I believe this crowd tonight has lifted the Lady Cardinals.
I agree.
The Lady Cardinals have been entertaining so many times and put on great shows, but tonight this one would be an assist for the fans if the Lady Cardinals are able to pull this one out. Four-point game. Didn't look possible about 5 minutes ago when Paris was really in control at 32-20.
Down to 5 on the shot clock again. I don't think Paris knows it.
It's going to be a shot clock violation. That's the second one we've seen here in 3 possessions. And the Lady Cardinals are really turning this thing around. Concern is on Paris's face. You can just see it in their body language. I guess we're reading in too much into body language sometimes, Jason, but you can just easily see it. Donna Gardner running the offense.
I don't care what you say. Nobody comes here expecting to win. They may expect to play well, but...
Great job spotting Jasmine Scott underneath. She misses the shots, but it's going to be fouled and going to go to the free throw line. And these are the best kind of points you can get here when you're staging your comeback. The clock's not running on you.
Yeah, and that's 4 fouls for Hannah now. She's their leading scorer with 11. And, she's second leading scorer behind Mosley with 14. That's going to hurt. She's going to come out of the game right now. You see Watson about to check in.
Scott misses the first free throw. Well, these add up now, right? There's no margin for error when you're coming back from a 12-point deficit late in the game. There's no margin for error. Scott's not had a good night at the free throw line, has she? She's missed.
Yeah, well, right now she's 2 of 4.
Can't get that one to fall.
Make it 2 of 5.
There's a chance to get within 2. Aren't hitting her free throws. Those add up. Those add up every time.
The third time Trinity Valley's gone to the line and missed both shots. That's tough.
Can't let up on this end, that's for sure. 15 on the shot clock.
You see the defensive intensity's picked up.
Three-pointer banked in. Paris Price hits the 3. That's a big 3. 30-second timeout to Paris, 41-34. That makes it a 7-point game. And just like that, you had a chance to cut it to 2 with 2 free throws on one end. Don't get that, you come back down, and Paris hits a three-pointer. I mean, that's just a big swing of events right there when you're mounting a comeback.
Yeah.
Still plenty of time. It's not you've done a good job of moving it down, but you could do within one possession of the lead.
Yeah, that was just about worst-case scenario for Trinity Valley. But like you said, a lot of time left, so see, we've got the wave going on here on the home side.
Have Cardinal football players leading the way, working the crowd. They started this, we saw the last home game, and it really is carried over tonight. Too bad this is the last home game of the season. I call that the lazy way. Not a lot of folks standing, just throwing their hands up in the air.
Well, that's all right.
Resuming play after the Paris timeout. Lady Cardinal basketball down 7 with 7:26 left. Full court pressure defense. April's losing the ball. Well, that's a big turnover there.
She just hasn't seemed herself tonight. I don't know. It just hasn't handled the ball real well, I guess, is what it boils down to.
Lady Cardinals need a stop. If not, Paris would have stood that run, I would think it'd be safe to say. Not saying that they would be out of harm's way, but that run that could have caused them much problems, they would have survived. Loose ball maintained by the Lady Dragons, 14 on the shot clock. Five on the shot clock. Rebound, Alice Robinson. Lady Cardinals need to hit a big bucket here. Gardner takes it the distance, misses the layup, but there's Robinson on the putback, won't fall. Just wouldn't fall for her. She will go to the free throw line to shoot two. That is also, Jason, the 18th foul against the Lady Dragons. The Lady Cardinals just have two. So the Lady Cardinals may get to shoot a lot of free throws the rest of the way, so they better make the most of them. Robinson's first free throw barely draws iron. They missed enough tonight in this game, Jason, to be in the lead now. I think they were 2 of 8 at one point in the game. That was 6 misses, and the percentage hasn't improved a whole lot since then.
3 of 12 by my count. 4 of 12 right now.
Second free throw attempt is no good. (41-34), coming up with 6:30 left in the game. Paris doesn't mind burning a little clock, but they got to be careful. They don't have to get in a situation where they got to force up shots to beat the shot clock. What? Length of the floor pass. Three-pointer. No good. Rebound is controlled by, it's going to be a jump ball on the floor, and it's going to go to the Lady Dragons. Mosley appears to be a bit shaken up. Fell hard to the floor. Well, you'd have to go back a long way, Jason, and look at when the Lady Cardinals scored this few points in a game. I mean, I know the game's not over, but 34 points this deep, we haven't seen that much in the last 20 years. They've had some games in which they struggled one half, but they've always been able to make the other half count, and they still could in this one. 6:13 to go.
Well, this is something you don't see very often. Sean LaBouth is out on the floor, wiping up the floor himself. I think he should be charged a timeout for that.
Tyler's up on Kilgore 48-45 with 9:45 left in the game. So that one's gotten closer. This one's gotten closer, but not close enough from the Ladies Cardinal standpoint. Oh, it looked like Scott had come back with a good block there. She wanted to protest her case, but she didn't stretch it too far that she would pick up a technical. Will be a blocking foul and a 2-shot foul for Mosley. He's got a chance to stretch the Paris lead back out to 9. First one is good.
That's her 10th point of the night. She had 9 in the first half to go along with 10 rebounds. She's been big for them. Smith has been big for Paris.
the second will not fall, but Paris controls the rebound. So there's another 30 seconds that they can run off the clock as they look for a shot. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to be in a hurry here. There's no question about that. They've got an 8-point lead. You stretch it to 10 with just one shot here. Nice job by Smith of dishing the ball over to Mosley, and that puts it up at 10 points again with 5:40 and counting left in the game.
16 now for Mosley.
Caples with the shot. She's just tough to handle, that's for sure, but they need a lot more of that. And time is now running short.
12 points now for Caples. Like you said, if I'm Paris, I'm in no hurry here.
Mosley escapes down low, gets away from Robinson and Scott for the easy bucket. 5 minutes going to be left in this game. 5 minutes. And the Lady Cardinals throw it away.
Brittany Dukes is going to check in now.
It's going to be a turnover at an inopportune time for the Lady Cardinals. It looks like that they may suffer their first ever loss to Paris Junior College. I'm not sure what the number's at. I think it's at 75, maybe 76, but it's somewhere in the mid-70s.
As in number of consecutive wins?
Yeah, we never lost to Paris. Dukes does a great job of saving that, but here comes Caples, gets it out to Gardner, and they throw it away. Just throw it away.
Well, that's their 5th turnover of the half, 20th of the game. They obviously have done a lot better job protecting the basketball, but at this point, you got to be real careful with that basketball.
Definitely have to. 46-36. Great job by Scott of anticipating the pass and coming back with a steal, going the distance and driving. Shot is knocked out of bounds. Wouldn't really call it a block necessarily, but it was knocked out of bounds by the Lady Dragons. 26 seconds on the shot clock. Lady Cardinals need to make the most of their opportunities. Caples puts up a 3, gets it to go, and just like that, it's a 7-point game all of a sudden, thanks to back-to-back buckets by Shakayla Caples. It's maybe the Cardinals' last stand, Jason. I mean, their last opportunity here, and get a timeout called by Paris. Another good timeout. I got to give them credit. They've used their timeouts, I think, very effectively tonight.
Caples has scored 11 of her 15 here in the second half, so that's good. See Michael Landers there checking the timeout situation for Trinity Valley.
.4:17 left in this one, folks. Again, we'll have the men's game about 20 minutes after this one's over with. We'll wrap this one up for you, and we'll step away for a few minutes, and then we'll be back to reset things for the men's game, which is a huge game for the Cardinals. Just as though this was an opportunity for the Lady Cardinals to wrap up a conference championship, then they have to take that search to Carthage on Saturday to play Panola, the last place team in the conference. But you'd like to have done it at home, and you still can, but there's no margin for error now. Got to have stops and scores. Three-pointer, in and out, no good. Rebound is controlled by the Lady Cardinals, although that wasn't easy. Brittany Dukes finally comes away with it, and Caples on the run. Dishes it out to Scott. She puts up a three-pointer, and she knocks it down from the corner. And just like that, we're back at a 4-point game again, 46-42. 3.5 minutes left in the game. Lady Cardinals were in 4 a few minutes ago, had a chance to cut it to 2, but missed 2 free throws. And now here they are again, thanks to Shakayla Caples, and a great job on the defensive end, too, I might add. 46-42.
Let's start with Duke saving the ball. Now 9 of her 11. Jasmine Scott has 9 of her 11 in the second half as well. So
10 on the shot clock. You got to go D up here. You can't let them just throw up a mercy shot. Mosley, and it's a shot clock violation. That's what the Lady Cardinals need. Now, can they get within 2 this time? They failed earlier when they had 2 free throw attempts to get it within 2. Sabrina McKinney's going to check back in and run the offense. 46-42, 3:03. Shakayla Caples is coming up big. But you get a feeling, Jason, it may fall on somebody else to have to do something here. Possibly.
Yeah, Duke's just checked out, so let's see what we've got. We've got Caples, Gardner, Scott, Robinson, and Sabrina McKinney.
Under 3 minutes left. Loose ball saved by Caples. Caples creating, puts up the shot, knocks it down. 2-point game. Shakayla Caples with the jumper. 46-44. 2 minutes and 39 seconds and counting left in the game. It's a 1-possession game, a 2-point Paris lead. Can the Lady Cardinals pull off an unlikely win here at home? I say unlikely in the sense that they haven't played that well and they've been down by as much as 12. There's a ball that's going to go out of bounds, and let's just see. It's going to belong to Paris. A long pass by Paris. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. And it looks like we're going to have a Paris timeout. Full timeout charged to Paris. 46-44. 2:21 left in the game. We look at the timeout situation. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Each team, 2 timeouts left. Possession arrow belongs to the Lady Cardinals. That's your game set to set it up for this final 2 minutes and 21 seconds here at Cardinal Gym. In a game in which the Lady Cardinals have trailed a couple of times here in the second half by 12 points. It's now down to a 2-point game.
Well, we had thought that they were withstanding, like we had said. Trinity Valley went on that 7-0 run for a couple of minutes starting at the 10:34 mark. Caples was a big part of that, as was Alice Robinson and Jasmine Scott. And just when it seemed like maybe Paris was closing in on being able to close this thing out, Trinity Valley went on this run that they need right now. 8-0 and 10-2, really, if you look back down to Caples' jumper with 5:30 left. Caples has scored 13 of her 17 here in the second half. Scott has come up big too, and I think you can't discount the little things like Brittany Dukes a couple of times now has saved balls that were heading out of bounds. And that saved possessions, and at least on one of those that I can recall, turned into Trinity Valley points. So everything is huge right now.
As you look at a part of the large red-out crowd here tonight on the home side, it's 46-44, Paris, 2:21 left. Basketball belongs to Paris. There are 14 seconds left on the shot clock. 14 seconds on the shot clock. So we'll see if the Lady Cardinals can make Paris force up a shot rather than get a good look. Well, a bucket here by Paris will not, no doubt, kill you or sink you, I should say. But, boy, if the Lady Cardinals can get a stop and come down to get a tie, I think you'll really see this crowd get further into the game, which they've done a great job here in the second half.
No doubt about that. This crowd definitely deserves an assist to this point. Done a great job.
3 seconds on the shot clock. She got the shot off. It found rim, but the Lady Cardinals control. Caples, jumper from the baseline is going to be short. She's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 with a chance to tie this up. Shakayla Caples is shooting 80% from the free throw line this year, so she'd be one of the ones you definitely want at the free throw line here in a situation like this. We're under 2 minutes left, folks, 1:59. A chance to tie this basketball game for the Lady Cardinals.
Well, she hasn't attempted a free throw. This is big for a couple of reasons, and the other one is that Hannah is now out of this game. You see the first free throw hit there.
One away from a tie. Shakayla Caples with the second free throw attempts. Had a huge second half. She gets the second one, and we are tied at 46-46 with 1:59 left in the basketball game. Some way, somehow, the Never Say Die Lady Cardinals have hung in here and clawed their way back in, and now they're tied, and every possession counts now. Every possession on both ends of the floor counts. Three-point attempt. Almost. And Sabrina McKinney stole the rebound, and the Lady Cardinals are on the run with a chance to take the lead. I wouldn't be their first lead, would it, in the game?
Their second. They led 11-10 early. And that's it.
Ball in Caples' hands. That's where you'd want it to be. Makes a spinning move, puts up a jumper, no good, going to draw a foul. She's just so hard to guard, Jason, and she creates so well that she's going to wind up drawing a foul just about every time. The foul goes against Ashley Watson, a freshman out of Mansfield, Texas. Shakayla Caples is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2, a chance to give the Lady Cardinals their second lead of the game. First free throw attempt is good. 47-46. Some way, somehow, the Lady Cardinals going to be able to hold on and pull this one out. Second free throw attempt is good. Shakayla Caples has come up big time here in the second half, as has the Lady Cardinal defense. Caples is going to catch her breath right here, Jason, but I wouldn't think she'd be off the floor very long here with 1:29 left. I would think maybe this would be a defensive-offensive substitution. Once Lady Cardinals get the ball back, she gets back in if there's a made bucket.
Well, they can't do that right now. 17 of her 21 points have come in the second half. They've got to have her. And here she goes. She's back on the court now.
Oh, I thought she was just coming out to get a blow in.
Probably just tying her shoes or something. I don't know if she was squatted down there, so I think that's what she was doing.
I couldn't imagine her coming out at this point.
No, this is when she's got to play.
McKinney pressuring the ball. You can see the Lady Cardinals are working. They sense that they can get this one now. There's the double team. They can't let them spot up for a three-pointer down here. Well, you see Caples getting position and getting the rebound. She doesn't have numbers, but she goes the distance. Can't get the layup to fall, but she's going to draw a foul. And, folks, you're seeing the best player in the league working her magic right now in this second half. It reminds me a lot of what we saw from Betty Lennox here back in 1997, and I didn't think I'd ever see another player come through that I might compare to Betty Lennox. But Caples has just put the team on her shoulder and said, let's go. And that's exactly what we saw Betty Lennox do during the Lady Cardinals National Championship run back in 1997. Caples with the first free throw. 3-point Lady Cardinal lead. 58.1 seconds left.
Just an incredible run by Caples. She has put this team on her shoulders. Right now, Trinity Valley's on a nice little run.
It's a two-possession game with the 2 free throw attempts. And we have a timeout on the field. Look at the Lady Cardinals as they head to their bench. They are up on their toes. The body language is like 500 degrees better than we saw it about 10 minutes ago, Jason. But look at them now. You can see it. They know they can pull this out. The Lady Cardinals folks are attempting to win a 10th straight conference championship, to try to win their 19th conference championship in the last 20 years. You add the numbers up. They're crazy. They make no sense. But it's been the most dominant women's program in the country for a better part of 15 to 20 years now, and I don't think anybody could argue with that.
No. Caples right now. Trinity Valley's on a 16-2 run here since the 5:30 mark, and that was that Caples jumper. And since then, she scored 13 of those 16 points. So she's come up big. This is exactly what they needed her to do, was come up big like this. Just getting to the line and doing everything she needs to do.
And take a look at the scoreboard. The Lady Cardinals just 3 team fouls. It's very unlikely that Paris is going to shoot free throws from a 1-and-1 situation. I mean, maybe a shooting type situation, but it's definitely a 2-possession game. Lady Cardinals need to work here, make Paris use as much time off the clock as they can, hopefully come away with nothing, and then you can start working on the clock in time. You can run the timeout on Paris almost.
Yeah, absolutely. 58 seconds left.
But I'm telling you, folks, if the Lady Cardinals hang on to win this one, there will be a 1-loss record for the crowd here tonight, the Cardinal football team in particular, but they get a big assist in this if they pull it off.
Yeah, you bet. They're still up over there going crazy, and you know, I agree. I just can't say enough about the crowd really getting into this thing and keeping the Lady Card going. And
this place was dead about 10 minutes ago.
It was. I mean, it absolutely was.
All right. Here we go, 58.1 seconds. Paris has the ball. They've got to go the length of the floor against Cardinal pressure defense. Paris is not in the bonus. They are not in the bonus. So Lady Cardinals have fouls to give, and that could come up big here late in the game. They're going to make Paris use as much of this clock as they can, trying to get the ball to the midcourt. And Caples almost comes up with a steal. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 40 on the game clock. And the Lady Dragons throw the ball away. Just like that, the Lady Cardinals come up with possibly the biggest turnover of the game. And now Paris, Jason, is absolutely in a position where they're going to have to foul.
Yeah.
If they don't get an inbound steal, they've got to foul quickly. They just can't let the Lady Cardinals burn any clock.
Well, the only thing is you want to,
And there's a foul away from the ball. We're going to see a lot of Lady Cardinal free throws here, I'm thinking, in this final 36.8 seconds.
Yeah, not sure why Caples was throwing it in, though. I think she probably ought to be the one taking it, the way she shot free throws. 6 of 6, by far the best of all the Lady Cardinals here. That's going to send Jasmine Scott to the line instead.
And what's her numbers for the night from the free throw line? She struggled, has she not?
2 of 5.
2 of 5. She needs to hit 2 of these. She hits 2 of these, and then all of a sudden, well, it'll still be a 2-possession game. It's a 2-possession game now as it is. First free throw attempt, no good. You'd like to see her hit this one, of course, because that way if Paris comes down and hits a 3, something crazy couldn't happen on a shot and beat you on a 2-pointer. Needs to hit this one. And she does. Big-time free throw by Jasmine Scott. 51-46. Didn't seem possible 10 to 15 minutes ago. Absolutely did not seem possible. 35 seconds on the game clock. Shot clock at 25. 10-second difference. Lady Cardinals continue to make Paris work. They're taking way too much time, Jason. They need to be attacking and drawing fouls. Shot will not fall by Smith. Rebound Lady Cardinals. 14 seconds left. Caples with the basketball. Going to put up the shot one-handed. She gets it in, and that's going to do it. 53-46 right now, but the Lady Cardinals are going to win this one. They're going to claim their 10th straight conference championship and their 19th in the last 20 years. Congratulations, conference champion Lady Cardinals with a 53-46 comeback win over the Paris Junior College Dragons in a game that seemed way out of hand about 15 minutes ago when the Lady Cardinals were down 12. There was no energy in this building, and the Cardinal football team, the Cardinal softball team, the volleyball team, the Cardettes, the cheerleaders, the Cardinal Regiment, the Cardinal fans all came to the aid of the Lady Cardinals when they needed them and lifted the Lady Cardinals and made that son of a gun happen. That just leaves you speechless right there. I didn't sound like I was speechless, but I'm telling you, folks, I don't know if I've ever been at a game which a crowd made as much difference as the players on the floor did. All right, we're going to let Jason do some quick tolling. We'll give you the Lady Cardinals and Lady Paris, Lady Dragons leading scores, and then we'll step away for a few minutes and we'll catch our breath.
Well, let's look at it real quick. Caples, 25 points, man. She had 4 in the first half, and that was all early, obviously, because she had spent most of the half on the bench. So, tough one there for the Paris Lady Dragons to see Caples get on fire. Jasmine Scott had 12 points, and that's the only 2 Lady Cardinals that had anything over 4 points tonight. But that's what they needed. Paris was led by 18 points by Dominique Mosley. She was not a factor down the stretch, obviously, as you watch the game. Brianna Hannon, who was fouled out, 11 points, 10 points for Destiny Smith to go along with 10 rebounds. So you can just see this was a tough one for Paris. There's some upset kids coming off the floor that really wanted this one bad.
It was there for the taking. It was absolutely there for the taking.
Well, it reminds you, of a couple weeks ago when Angelina came in here and lost in the final moments, and you could just kind of see the look on Byron Coleman's face like, wow, we just missed a chance, and that's exactly what happened tonight. So kudos to Trinity Valley for pulling something like this out.
That's going to wrap it up for the women's game. Again, our final score with the Lady Cardinals 53-46 for their 10th straight conference championship, 19 in the last 20 years. We're going to step away for a few minutes. There are 19 minutes and 35 seconds left in the warm-ups on the men's game. We'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes and set this one up for you. Thanks for joining us here on the Cardinal Sports Network for Lady Cardinal and Cardinal basketball.